Willie, you're okay. Good. You guys can just jump on up. Good.
Yeah, as long as you are an admin, you can jump up, or a moderator at least. And then anyone else who wants to jump up can raise their hand.
Okay, and sometimes you can ask someone to jump up, right?
Let's see. Yeah, if you right click on them, you can invite someone to speak, and then they have to accept it. Yeah. GM, DeFi Cafe, and Matt.
GM, sir.
All right. There we go. Invite to speaks right at the very top. Okay. Mike, I just invited you, so you can come on up since you'll give an update. Oh, this is going to be a little odd to do appreciations this way. Well, I guess people can just ask to come on up.
Yeah, that should work.
There's a bunch of engineers in some of the rooms down there. Can someone know? I see some people leaving. Can someone go just hop into some of those rooms and let people know?
I just let a few of them know via DM.
Okay, that'll work. All right, I guess we'll get started. Thanks everyone for joining. So this is the weekly kickoff. This is not like the engineering workstream kickoff where we're going to talk about the workstream. This is very tactical, and we're just going to go into what's happening during the week in the engineering workstream. We have been having this meeting internally for a long time. So this is our first time doing it externally. We'll see how it goes and see if we need to change it because we're now have a more of the community involved. So the first thing that we do that I definitely want to continue is we have a basically free-form appreciations where if anybody has an appreciation for anybody, you're welcome to speak it during this time. So we got the stage, so it's not very hard to ask to come up to the stage and I can bring you up or one of us here can bring you up and then you can very easily leave the stage too. So does anybody have an appreciation that you would like to share? Okay, Ryan. I'm trying to invite Ryan to speak and Andrew can. Willie, do you know why I'm not able to bring them up? Or no, now you have to accept. Ryan and Andrew, now you have to accept the invitation to come up to the stage. I think it shows, yeah, you figured it out. Got it. Okay, Ryan, you were first, please.
Yeah, no, I just want to appreciate Mr. Boots Boogie. And is he here? Techno Jack. We just got done kind of figuring out, as well as Duve, figuring out some issues that we were having with a custom hook that I was creating, and so going through the testing process actually showed us some issues that we were that we were coming across. To actually fix something else that we weren't really trying to test. So super, really big appreciation to both of those guys, all three of those guys, and then yay to Tess. So that's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to, I guess, do a couple blanket appreciations. I just wanted to appreciate like
all the Shapeshift devs for just being so open and like being very disciplined and willing to have discussions around how these things should be built and put together. I feel like we're having a lot of good discussions and figuring out a lot of good processes, and I think it's going to pay off in the long run. And I also wanted just to thank all the community members that have been contributing to web, at least so far. I wrote a bunch of issues and people have just been picking them up and chipping away at them, and I appreciate the help. So that was all.
Thanks, Jan. Anybody else have appreciations to share?
All right, Josh, I got one for you. Appreciate all the engineers for sure. +1 to all the appreciation so far, but also just a big shout out for Josh for diving headfirst into this DAO stuff and fully embracing it. It's been awesome just to see you embrace DeFi and this DAO stuff, and we're putting so much work in. I see you working late night, sometimes at midnight, trying to make sure that everything's in place for the whole engineering team to continue working successfully and contributing to the DAO. And I think I'm excited that we're going to have really high retention with all the Shapeshift engineers continuing to contribute to the DAO. And I think a lot of that is testament to all the hard work you put in, Josh, to make sure that we can have a smooth transition. So appreciate you, dude.
Thanks, Willie. I appreciate that. Appreciate you for being my DeFi tutor.
My pleasure.
I'll want to extend the appreciation from Jam too on the community involvement. It has been really exciting since we did the launch on Wednesday to have people involved. 420 Coop has done a bunch, and Chris Troutner, your excitement and jumping in on the Unchained repo is fantastic, and a couple others. It's been really great to see, and I think to help get us there, the whole team worked pretty hard on that presentation on making the code base so that it can be easily brought down and run locally, and be able to start deving on, and then putting the whole presentation together so that we could show it, I think, in really crystal clear way to the community. So good work to everybody there. Any final appreciation before we get started?
Just same to the community members for contributing and joining stand up and opening PRs. It's great to see, and we hope to see more of it.
Awesome. Thanks, DeFi Cafe. So let's see. I am I'm going to Zoom, and hold on. I am using a new laptop today, so all the permissions things are. This is my first time sharing a screen on Zoom. So now I have to quit and reopen in Zoom in order to share a screen with Zoom. Does anybody else have access to is in Zoom that has access to the doc that could share it? Or I'll just quit. Well, let's see. Yeah, well, if I quit it, I'm the administrator, so the whole thing, I'm started the Zoom, so the whole thing is going to end. So that's not going to work. Yeah, let's see.
I can probably share a screen.
I put the link is in the stage chat, the link to the Zoom.
Yep. Let's see if I get this right. One second.
So what everyone will see when this comes up was we just go through the different teams, and they just do the team leads for each of the teams. The managers give a report on what's happening with the team that week. This may definitely change because we're in moving to the DAO, the structure is changing, the team structure is changing. So this is definitely has possibility of something different. All right, we can see it. Great, thanks so much. So, and then since you're the one who did this in DeFi Cafe, you usually go first anyway. So can you start us off, please?
Sure. So on the open sourcing side of things, obviously last week was the open source announcement. We got Web, Lib, and Unchained repos are all released and completely public now. We've already started accepting community contributions. We've had some PRs into the Web repo, and I know that two of our centralized foxes, Highlander and Sterling, are working with a community member, Chris Troutner, to show how Unchained is going to be implemented for BTC and to be able to implement other stuff. So it's great to see that community engagement. We have 2 project boards set up. So just this morning, I went and renamed the first one. It was called Shapeshift. It's now Engineering. So that is the board that is linked to the Web, Lib, and Unchained repos. It basically shows work that's being prioritized by the engineering workstream, and any issues that we're going to assign to the community to do. And we've just created a new one for the project, for the product team. I'll let them talk about that though, but that is going to be kind of prerequisite work that needs to be done before engineering starts on a chunk of work. So that'll be getting populated soon. And just a reminder, we have a daily stand-up at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. We do that in the stand-up all-access voice channel. And anyone's welcome to come along and join there, especially if you're working on it or want to hear about what the team's working on and potentially have stuff assigned to you. Just on the centralized platform, we have a native mobile release for growth reasons, and that's happening this week as well. That's pretty much it from our side.
So James, for this week, the teams are basically continuing to finish up the previous tasks towards open source before we start kicking off the new Epic work that we discussed last week, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so soon we'll be seeing, for those of you on this call for the first time, we'll start to report on different epics of work and what's being done that week for the team.
Yep.
But we're in a little bit of a transition between the move to open source was a big push for us. So now we're in that transition phase where we're doing cleanup of finishing one epic of work, and we've already defined a series of next epics that we'll be starting. Okay, great. And Mike P.
Yeah, hey there. So on Coin's team, as far as update on KeepKey, we're adding support on Windows. We had some users that were having issues with using their KeepKey on the platform on Windows. So we have a proof of concept of our USB bridge that's working now. And the next step with that is adding support to HD Wallet and doing some UI spikes. So we had like a kickoff last week and came up with some things regarding the UI that we need to make some scoping and design decisions on. And then on EIP 1559 fees, so we shipped both mobile and web support last week, specifically the native wallet on web. So all those transactions with Ethereum or tokens will all have the new fees there. So users should see some minor savings, maybe a few GUI per transaction. On KeepKey, we're still debugging, having some issues with the signed transactions not being valid. So we're going through that, and we're also comparing that to the Trezor implementation to see if there's anything that we're missing there. On Unchained, Kevin's out this week, but we did get with the open source release last week, all the Unchained stuff was moved over to the public Shapeshift repo. And the next step is a few cleanup tasks and then adding more coins. And that's it for the coins team.
Thanks, Mike. Conscience, invited you to speak. You now need to accept that down at the bottom. You see the like accept invitation to speak or something. Hey there.
All right. Yeah. So last week we were pretty much focused entirely on the Unchained public node release, working on documentation and the public launch thereof. This week we're still moving our internal production alerts from our previous chat environment to the Discord. That's been a lot longer than anticipated for a variety of reasons, most of which are to do with just Discord being a completely new universe from our previous operating environment and not having the rich feature integrations with our monitoring provider that the previous chat platform had. And then outside of that, we're also working on just more rich, I guess, infrastructure features for Unchained, specifically using EBS snapshots and also blue-green deployments. And those will end up rolling up into more functionality available in the cluster launcher repo, public repo. And that's pretty much what we got.
And I've also just seen, I really appreciate your efforts to welcome back, by the way. Been out for most of last week, I think. And appreciate the cost savings that we've had on AWS. I know you've been doing a lot of work there, and even saw it from today, you're still scrubbing through that. So really appreciate that.
Cheers.
Security team. Let's see. Do we have Mr. Nerdhair? Do you want to come up, Mr. Nerdhair? You there, Mr. Nerdhair? Oh, you're barely audible.
I don't know why that happens. Is it better now?
Yep.
Okay. Right. Okay. So this week, the primary focus of the team as a whole is to pay out researchers that we've issued bounties to under our responsible disclosure program. For the context of any community members that are listening in, Shapeshift runs a responsible disclosure program. This is Shapeshift US, the centralized entity. We will be replacing that with a DAO-based program, hopefully sometime in the next few months. As part of that, we are paying out all of the reports that are valid that previous researchers have made to us as a centralized entity, even if those reports are not, if for bugs that are not yet fixed. The vast majority of everything is cleaned up. There's, 5 or something more bugs to fix. So we are working on fixing those, and we're working on paying people out, which is annoying and tricky as a centralized entity and will be much easier in the DAO universe. That's our primary focus as a team at the moment. I continue to work with Major Hayes on wallet encryption stuff for the new Web 2/Live platforms. We've got some very exciting ideas and are looking forward to sharing them when we have something that is actually a prototype.
Cool. Thank you. And then IT is usually Marley. I don't see him. So unless there's anybody else, we'll skip that.
Hi. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I was muted. But yeah, I think it's not too much. Just working on the wind down of Shapeshift US still, and then more ramping up of DAO support, being Discord dad and etc. So I'm still here and around.
All right. Thanks. And then next, we usually hear from Adam. For those who know, Adam's our principal engineer. and he is unavailable right now just for a few hours this morning. So we're not going to hear from him. And then go next. And so my focus this week is to do what I can to keep the community engagement going. And then I'm really pushing to get the Workstream budget proposal. I don't think I'm going to get it out this week, but I want all the data. And I still have a couple people that I need to meet with, and I have those invitations on the calendar. And then put together the proposal so that the people who will be in the engineering work stream can discuss. And then my goal is to get the proposal out to the community to vote by next week. Then we're involved, me and Adam, Conscience, also a couple others are involved in interviewing for the head of technology role that's been open for the foundation for a while. We've had some good candidates come through, and so interviewing and vetting and discussions about that role is another focus for me this week. And then last, I always like to end with what's the vision for Shapeshift is essentially self-sovereignty, right? That's one of our core ethos. And I've always had on here what the corporate goal of Shapeshift is, which was to decentralize. Well, it's changed because we've been having this meeting for a couple years, but I don't think it's quite, I don't think I need to talk about the Shapeshift corporate goal anymore. So anyway, so that's that. And DeFi Cafe, if you just click the present button in the upper right, it will look a little bigger for people too. Yeah, thank you. So, and next is
I'm going to take it.
Say that?
Say, Josh, I'm going to take it because Bethany was part of wave one.
Great. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
So that
Matt.
transitions nicely into what I was about to talk about. So I'll talk about the centralized UX design team and centralized product. For the centralized UX design team, if some of engineering wasn't aware, both Hoff and Bethany were in wave one. So they did off-core last week, but they'll be working for the product work stream under the UX design part of it. So we still have Beard around. So for centralized stuff, you can always start with him. Reach out to Beard for any of those UX design needs. I think I heard they're talking about the Keep Key bridge, might needing some UX help there. Please reach out to Bridge, and we can always bring it to the UX work stream if his bandwidth is low. For centralized product this week, we're going to be focused on soft launching Gem. That's either going to happen tomorrow or Thursday. There's a couple things I need to clear up with my team before we do that, which I'm having a meeting on that tomorrow. But the dev work's all done. It's ready to go in platform, and it'll be platform only right now until Beard has a chance to start working on the mobile side. And then everything other than that is just the usual bug fixes, supporting the open sourcing any way we can, and just starting to help transition stuff over to decentralized Shapeshift. If Willie Fox or Chow want to add anything else, feel free.
Thanks, Matt. Welcome back. What's up, everybody? So yeah, I guess I can provide a little bit of color. As many of you guys know, I'm in the process of kind of transitioning a bit away from product and focusing more on DAO stuff than day-to-day product stuff, but still very involved with product and engineering, and in this kind of weird limbo state. Right now, a lot of my intention's on the DAO. So yeah, looks like my assignments, I got DAO stuff. Mainly this week, I'm focused on Colony and updating some of the Colony configs that we have and creating documentation for Colony, both for the workstream leaders and contributors, making it really clear how workstream leaders can pay their contributors, how contributors can get paid, and how all the math on Colony works with like staking and everything. So my goal is to have that ready by tomorrow afternoon. I've got an onboarding session with workstream leaders scheduled, and I'll present this documentation, and we'll kind of do a group onboarding to make sure everyone, all the workstream leaders know how to pay their contributors. And then on Thursday, we got a community call with Jack from Colony that everyone's invited to get a demo from Jack and hear about both what they currently have on Colony and their roadmap, which is awesome. Jung, I think, can you mute on Zoom? Thank you, sir. Then Also, supporting open sourcing. That's one of the things I'm less involved in now. But one area that is related is product team. The Workstream is working on a roadmap proposal to propose to the community some of the next priority features. So really looking forward to that. Chow has already got a great head start on that. And yeah, when we do that, I'm hoping to do a kind of quick presentation of a proposed vision for Shapeshift, as well as competitive analysis and some of the gaps between our current offering and vision that we'll need to close if we want to achieve our mission. Looking forward to that. I think that'll really help get everyone rowing in the same direction. And that'll be, of course, we're going to do this as a very collaborative process. So anyone in the community who has ideas for features that they think should be prioritized or any other changes to the roadmap will be able to kind of share and make their pitch. And then what the goal is to end up with a roadmap that really everyone has had a chance to give feedback on and that we're all aligned on, and we can just get that heads down on our next queue. And then last thing, Max Fox. One exciting thing here is liquidity mining program. So this is not 100% solidified, but one thing that is going on in Max Fox land, and Max Fox, by the way, stands for maximizing Fox benefits, basically maximizing Fox utility and everything we can do there. Has been one of my focuses this past year. This Thursday, we're talking with Sushi Swap, and they are, don't quote me on it because it's subject to change, but tentatively planning on Thursday to launch a liquidity mining program for Fox and ETH on Polygon, which is Matic, and it's a layer 2 to Ethereum with super low fees. This is awesome because it's not going to even cost us any Fox, but both Sushi and Polygon are going to sponsor this pool with Sushi tokens and Matic tokens. And they just want us to market it. So Green Machine has been working on some collateral that I'm sure we'll share with you guys soon. So stay tuned. That's coming up really soon. And I'm reaching out to them today just to confirm everything for Thursday. But that was something that happened just Friday night. We reached out to them and they were ready to move it forward quickly with that. So that'll be awesome. And that will help not only bring more Fox to liquidity, but it'll be great because it'll even give users who want to buy Fox but don't want to pay mainnet gas fees a path to do that, because you can on-ramp and off-ramp from Polygon without ever going to mainnet. So that'll be huge. All right. I think that's enough for now. And I'll pass it over to Chow if there's anything else.
Thanks, Willie.
Last shameless plug for the brewery crawl this Saturday if you haven't seen the announcement in the Genesis Fox Discord channel.
Right. Thank you. Cool. And I've got a hard stop at 12 to actually get to one of those head of technology interviews. Any questions from anybody at this time? Or any announcements from anybody that I missed or should be added? Someone's raising their hand and I'm not sure. No, not anymore. All right. Cool. Well, everybody, thanks for coming along. If you have any